Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're taking a look at a Guardian Sun Haven deck. This is kind of classic and very inspired by the past ones. Clearly it was a lot of fun, honestly, Guardian Sun Haven back in the day, and this is running pretty much the exact same kind of setup, with things like Prince of Darkness, Dark Angel, Lucifer and Bahamut being kind of your top end, Sarkwheel kind of just pulling whatever you need at the time, and then everything else just kind of supporting you in the early game and really trying to develop boards that can be hard to deal with, especially with wards. Priest of the Cudgel is really good for that. Guardian Sun giving everything with 4 defense or higher wards, so pretty much everything in this deck is designed for that, excluding Unicorn Dancer and Temple Defender, but Temple Defender has its own decent effect of subtracting 1 damage from whatever it is, so it can only be killed by a 3 or above follower. And a Unicorn, of course, being a pseudo ward where your opponent needs to kill this, otherwise you're going to start healing, which is always a problem for aggro decks, so it's really good to throw that down. Otherwise, Sacred Plea is your draw card, Tribunal's your clearing cards, along with Decree, of course, and everything else is just pretty stock standard for the old Guardian Sun decks, and I really wanted to give this another go, as it was a lot of fun back then, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun now, so we're going to get right into it and check it out. So our first game here against Dragon, we have actually got a couple of Dragon games, as that seemed to be the deck that this deck had the best matchup against and was more enjoyable. I've been really struggling trying to get some games for you guys that were at least interesting with most of the decks lately, mainly because I've covered all the kind of top end decks and don't want to have to repeat those too often, especially coming into the next expansion where they may not be entirely relevant, so I'm really just trying to find interesting quirky decks that I haven't played for a while or that are just really off the wall that we haven't really seen before, so that's what I really needed to cover here. So we're starting off, of course, with the Sacred Plea into a turn 2 without really a turn 2 play, which is a bit disappointing. Temple Defender should be a nice setup though, being able to play that down as a 3-drop 2/2 will easily crush both of these followers pretty nicely, although they can clear it with the spell, but forcing it is pretty good. So a 2-for-1 is always worthwhile when you're playing Temple Defender, at least it always used to be, and I still think that's pretty relevant today. So now we get a chance to play our Priest of the Cudgel. Of course this will probably die reasonably quickly, but again 2-for-1 is always worthwhile when you're playing Haven, as that's really what you want minimum. Plus we've got a pretty nice setup going into the next few turns. We're finally going to get the chance to set up our Guardian Sun, along with probably a Temple Defender, I'm thinking is the best way to do this. Just because it kind of fills out our curve nicely and hopefully sets us up. Also evolving the Temple Defender preemptively, because we already have the Dark Angel in our hand and all we're really doing at this point is just protecting our board. Stopping them from going too nuts with it. So turn 6, we don't actually have a great line of play here. All we can really do is heal up a little bit. I mean, it does take both our board and our face right up to our maxes again, which is fairly decent, especially on a Temple Defender. That's going to at least be able to soak up a bit of damage or removal. So instead of being killed just outright by things, it's going to be a lot better. And there we go, the Sarkwheel is going to get the play, which is going to be pretty nuts. Being able to use the Lucifer. I mean, we don't really need the heal effect there, but I mean, just the rush there is perfect. And we can also just drop Lucifer again next turn if we want to. Oh, Sybil though, coming in to be a little bit of a problem. Especially with that Evo. He's going to be able to clear out the 4/4 there. But at least we can go again for another Sarkwheel play. That top deck was pretty ideal. Getting another Lucifer play. This time going for the Sarkwheel Evolve though for 6, so we can at least get the damage to face. I really probably should have held it for Lucifer, but I think going for the preemptive damage was going to be the only hope I had long term. Plus we have the Dark Angel Olivia, which is pretty much coming down next turn anyway, so why not at this point. Plus, that forced a lot of their removal, so I'm not really in a bad spot here. And we did get the Prince of Darkness, which is always a fun card when you get it. So if you're looking for a ward heavy deck, this is definitely one that will do the job. Being able to go face consistently is the hard part though. You need to try and get in the damage where you can, while at the same time making sure you're getting the most out of the cards you're playing. So that was a pretty decent trade-off for the Dark Angel. And those low drops aren't really a problem. It is going to give me the chance to play my Prince of Darkness, which is pretty much perfect. It does mean we are on a kind of clock now, as we are only have 10 cards available. That's pretty rough, honestly. 10 cards is a rough time for any player. Every turn is going to get harder. Another Sybil. So that's our number 2 Sybil. And a Wildfang Dragon Note, which I would have thought would be a problem, but honestly that's probably going to be my very first target here. I probably should have got rid of the 2-1 with the banishment here though, as I think that would have been more optimal, and then just attacked into the 2-2, as I would have taken the same amount of damage, but I would have denied the draw there. So definitely would take that back if I could. But we got a pretty nice setup going forward. I mean, double Lucifer, we also have the Disdamnation, so anything that sticks to this board is going to be absolutely devastating. And they have used their Altered Fate. They've got really low hand size, so they can't really abuse any kind of combo there too much. We did get Silent Rider, which honestly isn't a bad card. Might be a little difficult to take full advantage of, but it should still be pretty reasonable. They used a lot of removal on this Lucifer, and have set up quite a solid board. Definitely going to be a tough one to deal with. Disdamnation though is our draw. Pretty decent draw, honestly. Bolstering our health just that little bit. And another Wildfang Dragon here, so definitely something I have to deal with as soon as I kind of can. Oh, but the double Servant of Darkness, 2 13 wards, almost unremovable outside of Bahamut. It'd be extremely hard for the Dragon player to actually kill both of these. So I think that is going to round out the game for us. And our next Dragon matchup is a little bit of fun. I mean, Dragon is honestly one of the more fun classes to fight with this deck. Some other decks can be really difficult, especially things like Shadow. This deck is definitely not something I would use competitively or in something like a Grand Prix or tournament. It's definitely just a kind of classic deck that really hasn't seen the spotlight for a long time, so I thought, why not cover it for you guys when we're getting close to the next expansion, where most of the videos now are going to be fairly outdated very quickly. So, Sacred Plea gets onto the board there. Quite nice. I always love getting turn 1 Sacred Plea. It's always probably my most optimal play. And a turn 2 Guardian Sun into a turn 3 Temple Defender. All we're really missing is turn 4 plus until we can get to about 6 or 8 range. If we can get there, we'd be pretty set.
I obey the Lord's will.
So there's the little Temple Defender.
Keep relying on you, Dragon.
Just kind of blocking these out now.
I've got to take a break. I obey the Lord's will. Just where are you looking?
So Temple Defender just doing its job.
It's so cold.
Really blocking out a lot of the potential damage that we'd take. These Temple Defenders do a wonderful job at that. Fortunately, they did have some decent removal there to get rid of it, but Ancient Lion is pretty much going to defend this board. Really, I didn't have any reason not to play Ancient Lion, as turn 5 was really an awkward spot, but this Phoenix Roost here and double Phoenix Roost is going to be absolutely nuts for our hand. We have just so many good options now. We can literally just throw down this Lucifer, go for the Evo, get some damage to face. Even throw a little more healing if we want to.
Once I believed.
Just to get those draws. And a Prince of Darkness as well. Wow, this is what goes nuts, because now any Prince of Darkness card is going to be absolutely insane. So they're banking on the fact that they can either remove this or heal out of range, and I just don't see that being a possibility for them. But Bahamut obviously coming down is exactly what they needed for this play. Especially with Dark Dragoon Faune, so pretty nuts, the double Phoenix Roost. It definitely makes games a lot more interesting. It is definitely a double-edged sword though for the Dragon players, as you never know what your opponent might be able to pull off. So we're really looking for lethal here, so we go for our Mosaic, we end up with Disdamnation, so Disdamnation plus the Lucifer with an Evo is going to win us this game pretty nicely, honestly, can't go wrong. I also could have just demised the board and probably come up with something else, but I think this was still the best way. Azeroth or that Disdamnation, Silent Rider, all of those would have finished this game just fine, so couldn't ask for a better draw, honestly. So I hope you guys did enjoy this deck. I had a lot of fun with it. It's definitely one that always keeps you on your toes, especially coming up against those Dragon players with things like Roost, because those players just go absolutely nuts real quick. It would have been awesome if I could have played some more Prince of Darkness cards. We got to play a fair few of them, but outside of those, they're pretty awesome cards, honestly. Grailhaven's another one of my favorites, just because the cards you can get are just so much fun to play. Like, you can't go wrong with any of these big drops. So, hope you did enjoy the video. Hit the like button and subscribe. You'll find more videos on the channel. We have heaps. Make sure to check them out. Until next time, see ya.